everyone, Robert Ferringo of Doc Sports Services here with your college hoops handicapping extravaganza. With me as always is Raphael Esparza, one of the most talented college basketball handicappers in the country. If you like what you hear, roll on over to docsports.com. We have $60 free that we are willing to give you towards your account to be used for any handicapper, any service, in any sport that you want. I think that's awful magnanimous of us. We were just giving away free money to you people, so be sure to take advantage. All right, Raphael, Thursday, we're talking college hoops. Now, today is kind of the odd day on the college basketball schedule, right? Everything's kind of rote in terms of what you're going to see on Big Monday and Super Tuesday, and then, of course, just the smorgasbord of Saturday. But Thursday is one of the most unique days on the college basketball betting calendar because it's mid-major day, really. You got some Pac-12 action. You get a couple Big Ten games here or there. But for the most part, this is when your Sun Belts, Atlantic 10s, WCC, a lot of the more popular and even the less popular mid-majors are playing on days like today. Now, Raphael, you personally, how do you approach the mid-majors in college basketball? Do you like to focus more of your time and attention on the major conferences and the bigger teams whose performances I found are a little bit more static over the course of the year? Or do you like to dip into that mid-major pool and find some hidden gems?
Oh, I love me some mid-major, especially in college baskets. My favorite conference, the WCC. Love watching the Dons play, St. Mary's, of course, the Zags. So Mountain West, some really good Mountain West basketball this year. Who'd have thought Wyoming would be ranked this year? Colorado State, Boise State. So you got a lot of good basketball on the West Coast. I know your peeps in the East Coast are sleeping when these games on, and they have to get up early because the kids. I can't watch these games. Boo-hoo. West Coast basketball has been dominant so far, especially in those two conferences. Because Mountain West, they can probably get 3 to 4 teams in the tournament, and so is the WCC.
Yeah, I think I would attribute about 80% of my sleep issues, I'm a big night owl, my sleep issues in my life, to college basketball and staying up when I was in, middle school and high school and stuff like that, watching those West Coast games. And I just kind of never broke that sleep cycle. So, all right, because we're talking mid-majors, because that's what Thursday is all about, and this is a Thursday free play video, we're going to start and we're going to focus with the mid-majors. We're starting in the Sun Belt with Troy as a 4-point underdog at Appalachian State. Now, these are the number 2 and number 3 teams in the Sun Belt. So this is actually a pretty big game. Appalachian State is on the rise. They're off a loss to Georgia State, who is also coming on strong. But Appalachian State is 8-2 straight up in their last 10 games. They're 7-2 against the spread. They are the first team in this conference to 10 wins. So even though they are in second place because of winning percentage, they actually have the most conference wins in the country. Now, Troy has been a revelation. All right, they are on track. Scott Cross has them on track for just their second winning season in the last 12 years. What do you think when you look at this game, Raphael?
I think it's dead on. I mean, odds makers, I made this number myself, 3, leaning a little bit towards 3.5, and they opened up 4, which that 4 was maybe a blink of an eye and quickly got bet down to 3.5. I really don't see that much value on the side itself. I think it's an evenly matched game. You said it, Troy's playing some really good ball. Both teams are coming off some awful losses, so it's going to be interesting to see who's going to go home with a 2-game losing streak after this game. I lean towards the App State at home. I think the 3 ball will hit at home. They usually get the boards a lot better at home in their home court. But Troy's just been a great story in college basketball. Love watching them. It's hard for me to see someone's going to lose this game. But if this continues to drop, if I can get maybe App State 3 or less, then maybe take a shot at that. But I think this will probably close around 3.5. No value on the total.
Big key to watch as we come down the home stretch with Appalachian State is Justin Forrest. All right, 2 years ago, he was one of the best players in the conference. And coming into this season, he was healthy, and he looked like he was primed to be their best player. Hasn't worked out for him. He's real small, real quick guard. He's only averaging 8.7 points per game. 2 years ago, he averaged 17.8 points per game. So I don't know what's going on there with him, but he's a senior. He's a veteran player. He's a fifth-year guy who has been an all-Sun Belt player. Keep an eye, if you're scanning through box scores, keep an eye on Justin Forrest with this Appalachian State team. If he gets hot, and he gets going here down the stretch and makes that one last super senior push, I think they're going to be tough to beat. All right, second game, we're actually stepping up in class. We're going to the Big Ten. We have Michigan at Iowa. Now, both of these teams have spent time in the top 25 this year, but currently neither one of these teams is ranked. Michigan, they're 13-10. They're 5-point underdogs in this game. They're pretty desperate for this one, I'd say, Raphael. But Iowa is just, they're so good at home. They're one of the top scoring teams in the nation, currently number 4, averaging 84 points per game. What's your take on this one?
You totally explained this on Iowa. Their offense is just so much different at home than they're on the road. And if they put up 80 plus points in this one, I think they dominate this game. And Michigan might be looking for another loss. I didn't like the way they played in the second half against Ohio State, Michigan. They just looked out of sorts. They looked lost. It looked like the Knicks yesterday in the second half when they blew that double-digit lead. I just don't like the way Michigan plays on the road. I think, again, if Iowa can hit the 3 ball and control the boards and play their pace, this could get ugly, 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 because Ohio State made that game look ugly, 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 and that was an easy win for OHIO. I like the Hawkeyes this one at home, and this one will probably have a high-scoring game.
Well, you mentioned the keyword for Big Ten basketball, and that's ugly, right? And it's been an ugly season for Michigan. However, they are playing better. I agree with you that they just kind of things came off the rails in that rivalry game against Ohio State. It's kind of a tough matchup. They've struggled. They have Hunter Dickinson, the big 7-foot center, but Michigan does not defend the post very well. They've struggled with the bigger, stronger teams in the Big Ten. That said, they are playing a little bit better. They've won 6 of their last 9 games. Unfortunately, this is a place where they do not play very well. The home team has actually won 7 straight in this series, and the favorite is 6-2 against the spread in the last 8 meetings. The public is obviously on Iowa. Over 2/3 of the bets coming in on the Hawkeyes. I think that's got to be the side if you do want to wade into this one. All right, let's go back to the mid-majors. We have Oral Roberts at North Dakota State. And similar to that Sun Belt matchup that we talked about with Troy and Appalachian State, we have the number 2 and the number 3 teams in the Summit League. So this is important. This is jostling for position in that conference tournament, right? This one's a big contrast in styles. Oral Roberts is right behind Iowa, actually, in terms of scoring in college basketball. Number 5 in the country, averaging over 82 points per game. They have one of the most talented scorers in the country. That's Max Abmas. Excuse me if I'm pronouncing that improperly, but you're going to remember this Oral Roberts team, Raphael. This is the team that made a sweet run to the Sweet 16 last year. Big sleeper Cinderella in last year's NCAA tournament. They go on the road to face NDSU. Very talented defensive team, very experienced team. The number on this one is coming down. We got a reverse line movement. 70% of the action on North Dakota State. Lines coming down. What do you see?
Yeah, when this one opened up 2.5, and I was hoping maybe it would get up a little bit higher because I can take the plus points with Oral Roberts, but then the line just pretty much inflated. I would be shocked if this one closes around 1, maybe even pick them, because the money that you said coming in, especially on Oral Roberts, saw a lot of big money line bets early this morning coming in on that one. That's why the line shot quickly down. I agree. I still think there's value on Oral Roberts. I think they could win this game outright on the road. Their backcourt is just so much talented than North Dakota State. The only way I'm playing North Dakota State if these two teams were playing football. Right now, give me Oral Roberts.
I like it. All right, we're going to dip back into, they're not a mid-major, but they're not a high major. So I guess just a major conference, the AAC. We have Central Florida at Houston. And Raphael, leave it to me, okay, talking up Houston in one of our recent videos about how they are one of the best defensive teams of the current century, of the last 25 years of college basketball. Then what do? They go out and they lose back-to-back games. They give up 89 points in one of those games. What do you think of Houston? They had some injuries earlier in the year. They lost Mack, they lost Marcus Sasser, and they just kept rolling without two of their starters, right? Do you think their lack of depth is coming back to haunt them, and that this is a team that we should be betting against as the season wears on? I mean, the number in this game is 14. It's still a monster number against a not bad Central Florida team, right? Or do you think that those back-to-back losses were just me jinxing them and we're just kind of a blip on the radar for the Cougars?
Kind of both. I think the Ferringo jinx got him on those back-to-back losses, but I think this number is just way too high. I know Central Florida has lost back-to-back road games, but they didn't lose to no 13 and 14 points in those back-to-back road games. I think this team will get, by double digits and maybe a minute left or something like that, a junky three-pointer here or a layup here to the water boy, and they get the backdoor cover. 13 and a half is way too, and I would wait because I think the betting public will continue to bet this. You could probably get 14, 14 and a half in this game because I can guarantee you parlays and teasers are going to be very popular with Houston today. So this is a 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Wait, because you could probably get a better number. I highly doubt this one comes down. This will go up. I think there's value with the Knights on this one.
All right, Houston is 38-12 against the spread coming off an against the spread loss. That's a 76% trend over 50 games. That doesn't scare you a little bit when it comes to this matchup?
No, because those back-to-back losses and their depth. I think their depth is equal to the Ferringo curse. So I think their depth is starting to even up on this one. And if they get into foul trouble, especially if they're big men, that's when it shows that they have no depth. That's what happens when they get in foul trouble, which they did in both, especially against SMU. They had foul trouble early, and that's where they lost that game.
Yeah, I'm with you. I just don't think that 14 points separates these two teams. That's not to say that Houston can't catch fire and run UCF out of the gym. Central Florida has not been good on the road. They're 0-4 against the spread as a road underdog. However, this is a veteran team. They like to grind. They play a defensive kind of clutch and grab style. So I can see this one being a lower scoring game, played in the 50s and 60s. And I'm with you. I feel like 14 points is a few too many. All right. For my money, this is the game of the night. This is the game that I'm most interested in. It's San Francisco, a 3-point underdog at St. Mary's out in the WCC. Now, Gonzaga, they were just steamrolling everyone out in that pathetic excuse for a conference. But these are two still very good mid-major teams jostling for position behind Gonzaga, right? The Gales are 20-6 straight up. Do you think that they have a chance at stealing an at-large bid in the NCAA tournament this March?
Yes, I think they do. I think they get two teams in the conference, in the NCAA tournament, and I think it's going to be St. Mary's and Gonzaga. I've been to this campus during a home game, and I actually saw them play the Dons many years ago. And it's that the way they play defense at home is just stagnant. That's why they're perfect 12-0 at home. The Gales are a tough place to steal a road game. I agree. This is game of the night. Thank you, ESPN Plus and everything else. There's nowhere to stream this game live, so I can't even watch this game. So I had to be hitting refresh on my phone, tablet, and iPhone. But yeah, I wish this game was on TV. This one should be ESPN2. It's going to be a fantastic game because the Dons can really put some pressure. If the Dons can get that pressure going on and in zone, it's going to be a very low-scoring game, tough game. But I like St. Mary's. I think they're just too tough at home. I know it's 3. It's a perfect number. I made it 3, but you just can't bet against St. Mary's at home. That's why they're perfect at home.
The home team is 12-5 against the spread in this series. Does it concern you at all that 70% of the action is coming in on St. Mary's, but the line hasn't moved? I would actually kind of expect it to start inching up as we get a little bit closer to tip-off, get to that 3.5, get to that 4. Do you anticipate that happening?
Probably not. Some of the wise guy action came in on the Dons, quickly saw some 2.5s pop up, but those 2.5s quickly got back up to 3. This will probably be a well-balanced game throughout the board. That's why we won't see anything besides a 3. I don't see 3.5. I don't see 2.5 anymore. This will be a solid 3. I would not be shocked if we see the juice be moved around, maybe 3 minus 115 or something like that. But this one, again, I think the wise guys and odds makers know this is probably one of the game of the days on this game. It's a late game, so you get late money. Unless for some odd reason a lot of late money comes in because people be chasing when this game's getting ready to tip.
Yeah, San Francisco's tough. They only have 6 losses this year as well. I believe they're 21-6. 4 of those losses by 2 points or less. And they have one other loss by just 5 points. This is not a team that gets blown out. Very experienced guards. I agree with you that this is a must-watch for any college basketball fan. All right, Raphael, those are our games. Those are the kind of the marquee games. What do you got in terms of a free play? Give the people a little love.
I'm going to go back to the game that we were talking about and coming in the Big Ten. We already said Iowa's going to put up some points against Michigan, and they're going to. I have no idea why this total is coming down. You can get 149. There was even 148.5 at Caesars. Maybe the Mannings bet it, and that's why the number has moved. I like this game going over the total. I think Michigan is going to try to probably keep up on pace with scoring if they want to keep this game close. But towards the end, Iowa's going to be able to control the boards. If they hit the three ball, this one flies over. This one should be around 150, 151. A little bit shocked on the line movement earlier this morning. Give me the over in this game.
All right, I'm going to stay with our group as well, and I'm going to take Central Florida. I'm going to take those points. Houston has absolutely dominated the dregs of the AAC. They've won plenty of games this year by 20, 25, even 30 points in league play, in non-conference play. But this is a team that's taken on some water. They just don't look the same. They don't look as fresh as they did early on in the season. I like this Central Florida team. I think that they've underachieved. I had much higher hopes for a really veteran, really physical, really tough-minded Central Florida team. They lost by 14 points at home in the first meeting. I do think that they're going to lose this game, but this feels more like an 8 to 10-point loss for Central Florida than it does them getting run out of the gym and losing by 16, 18, 20 points. So take the points with Central Florida. He is Raphael Esparza. I am Robert Ferringo. Be sure to hit us up at docsports.com, docsports.com. Check back tomorrow for our Friday free play video. And then we're actually going to have 2 videos tomorrow. We're going to set you up for Saturday's Monster college basketball card. In the meantime, carpe diem and good luck.